Hello, I'm Matt Williamson at Williamson NFL. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. And your Pittsburgh Steelers are 2-1. And that's the short of it. There's a lot more to unpack. And I'll be honest, I'm really looking forward to rewatching this game and digging in even more. I have a feeling some of my opinions will change. But I also have this initial impression that Drake May, by the way, is my guy. I am a big Drake May fan. I thought he played really, really well. Doesn't have a ton around him. But that being said, I don't think this Patriot team is a particularly good football team. And obviously the story of the game is all the turnovers from the Patriots. I mean, now, the Steelers are the best team in the league at forcing fumbles. Watt's like one of the best ever. They're the best team in the league at swatting down passes, or batting passes, which often results in turnovers, as it did today. And Cam Hayward is one of the best ever at it. So it's not like the Steelers had nothing to do with these things. I mean, I think that will be a misconception on Monday and Tuesday that, boy, they were lucky they got 5 turnovers. They had something to do with it. I mean, there's no question about it. Now, I would have liked to seen in a game where you get 5 turnovers, capitalizing on it a lot more. And I still think there are a lot of problems with this football team, with how they're playing right now. I had a real good conversation with Bob Labriola on the drive this week. And I liked how he phrased it. You know, we were talking about just like how early season football has changed over the years because the preseason's less and less meaningful. You know, they can't work out like they used to in 2 days, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of agreed with Labs that these first 3 or 4 games, you're working on stuff. Every team is. But if you get a win, nothing even matters. I mean, when we get to a couple weeks from now, maybe we can just be like, boy, this running game's never going to get going. Or this defense ain't what we thought it was going to be. And that's a real letdown. I think all these teams are working through things, and they all have injuries, including the Steeler D. But there's a lot to be concerned about, and there's a lot of work to do because I mentioned I don't think the Patriots are a good team. I'm not sure that the Steelers are an average team, let alone a good team either. So I just don't know. There's some first half stats I want to buzz through here real quick. Rodgers was 8 for 10 for 70 yards and a touchdown at that point. May was 13 for 21 and 130, touchdown and interception. Warren had 10 carries for 35 yards, and boy, that first series was really appealing by Warren, and then the running game just disintegrated, although I think he played pretty well. They led the sack differential 3-0 in Steelers' favor at the half. They were 2 for 3 on third down, while New England was 5 of 8. New England was 1 of 1 on fourth at that point. Yards per play were about equal, 5-1 to 5-0. And I really thought the Steelers controlled action early, but more and more it went New England's way. The Patriots had 175 yards to 122. Penalties were a big deal, especially early on. 5 for 39 for the Steelers, 6 for 36 for the Pats. Steelers held the ball for just over 13 minutes, where New England was just under 17. And at that point, the turnover differential was 2-0. Obviously, the final score, 21-14. The turnover differential was 5-1. However, the Patriots dropped at least 1, maybe 2 interceptions. Yeah, that happened. The Steelers also fumbled twice and didn't lose either, which is usually good fortune. You know, I mean, the ball bounced right back up to you, you grab it, great. You know, I don't think there's a great art to recovering fumbles. So that turnover differential easily could have been a little more equal. And do you think the Steelers win if it's 5 turnovers to 3? I have my doubts. Rodgers finishes the day 16 of 23 for 139, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Bad pick. May, again, very impressive to me. He ran 7 times for 45 yards. He was 28 of 37 through the air for 268, two touchdowns and a pick. Warren's numbers don't look great, but I thought he was pretty darn strong, and I'm excited to dig into his usage tomorrow. 18 carries for 47 yards, 5 catches for 34, and he really seemed like the bell cow feature back. Henry caused a lot of problems in the middle of the field, Hunter Henry. 8 catches for 90, 2 touchdowns. Watt broke his sack streak. He had 2. First downs, All these are going to favor New England, 26-17. Third downs, the Steelers were 4 of 9. Patriots were 6 of 13. Fourth downs, Steelers didn't try any on fourth down. New England was 4 of 5, though, on fourth. Now, I do count that miss as a turnover still, but they were pretty darn successful on late downs overall. They ran 71 plays compared to 49 for the Steelers and accumulated 368 yards compared to 202. Yards per play, remember it was basically even at the half, end up being a whole yard and a little more favoring the Patriots, 5.2 versus 4.1. Here's our big problem. Rushing yards before contact. The Patriots were at 0.7, which isn't great. The Steelers were at 0.2. So every time they handed the ball off, they only got 0.2 yards past the line of scrimmage before first contact. They ain't going to cut it. Because yards after contact, Steelers were at 2.5. New England was at 3.0. Explosive runs. We're going to talk about explosive play stuff tomorrow for sure. New England at 4. Steelers only at 2. Rushing yards, 119-63. That favored New England. Yards per rush, 4.1 for New England, which isn't great. 2.4 for the Steelers. This, to me, is the biggest problem. There's at least signs of life with other portions of this team, but it's like every week they rush for 2.4 yards and have 0.2 yards before contact. This run game is brutal. Penalties, I would have guessed New England ended up on the worst end of penalties, but they didn't. They only had 7 for 54, where the Steelers had 8 for 59. Time of possession's become a real problem, too. 26-40 for the Steelers to 33-20 for New England. Average depth of target. This actually went up a little bit to 5.2 for the Steelers. The average pass they threw is only 5.2 yards downfield, compared to 6.2 for New England. I was shocked the Steelers did not try to stretch the field more. Against a really bad secondary, bad linebackers in coverage. I don't care if you have to protect with 8. The New England was allowing a lot of deep receptions before this, and the Steelers did not test that nearly enough to my liking. Explosive passes, the Steelers did end up with 4. Patriots end up with 6. Sack differential was 5-0. Good. That's going the right direction. And I kind of thought it would. That doesn't surprise me. Pressures allowed. The Steelers only allowed 13 pressures. But remember, they didn't run nearly as many plays. The Patriots allowed 25 pressures. It's a lot. Steelers pass rush was pretty darn good in this game. And hurries, which I think are pretty similar to pressures, to be honest with you. Steelers only allowed 5. New England allowed 13. Unblocked pressures. This still is where the Steelers fall off. And that's scheme and defense coordinator. The Patriots had 4 unblocked pressures. A guy coming free, unblocked, that created a pressure. Steelers only had 2. They've been at the bottom of the league now for a couple years. Average yards per drive, 20.3 for the Steelers compared to 36.9 for New England. All right, I got some other nuggets here, but football season is finally here. Time to check out the latest odds, futures, and win totals on FanDuel Sportsbook. Steelers are heading to Dublin. I'll be there. If you want to bet on that game, lock in your bets today. Whatever your game, FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, futures, and specials, so you can join in on all the action.
Hiring can be so time-consuming, sorting through tons of resumes, trying to get in touch with every potential candidate. Well, the future of hiring looks much brighter because ZipRecruiter's latest tools and features speed up finding the right people so you save valuable time. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Over 320,000 new resumes are added to ZipRecruiter monthly. If you see a candidate you're really interested in, you can unlock that contact instantly. Use ZipRecruiter and save time hiring. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And if you go to ZipRecruiter.com/audio right now, you can try it for free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Hey guys, if you're planning to see a Steelers game, use the Game Time app to get your tickets. You can snag new ticket deals before anyone if you set it into your app alerts. The app is easy to use. No surprise fees at checkout. You can see your seat view before buying, and you're getting legit tickets delivered on time. If you're not much of a planner, you can get last-minute deals on tickets right up to the start of the event. Lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Download the Game Time app and enter the code DK Steelers into your app profile to get $20 off your first purchase.
Again, heading to Ireland on Wednesday. I'm not sure how that affects my podcasting with you guys. I will do my best and keep you in the loop. No major injuries for the Steelers. That's great news. That is huge. That's the first time in a while we've been able to say that. That is big. And I think it's safe to say Cam Hayward's pretty close to being back or is back. I mean, he had two huge plays right by the goal line. Tip pass that was intercepted, of course, and the strip of Ramondre Stevenson. Huge. And overall, it sure looked like he played a strong game, a Cam-like game. We got a little bit of splash out of Harmon. Got his feet wet. Good. I mean, he's very active. I'm curious to see what his snap counts will look like, and I assume they will go up drastically overseas. As I mentioned, Watt had 2 sacks. I thought him and Herbig were a really strong pair of Badgers coming off the end. 6 QB hits between them and 3 sacks combined. You'll take that all day long. That's great. They did come up with 5 sacks, 5 takeaways, and a 4th down stop with the Patriots driving to tie it late. So the splash was definitely there by the defense. The consistency, not so much. I mean, I think that's pretty safe to say. Some other nuggets here before we get out of here. Drake May completed 28 of his 37 pass attempts for 248, 2 touchdowns, interception. But he fared real well in passes under 10 yards. 22 of 26 for 179, a touchdown, interception. So I also think the Steelers need to play less off coverage in allowing all these easy completions. 22 out of 26. He also picked up a first down when scrambling on 4 of his 5 runs, which is great. Smart scrambling. So if you just combine the Patriots' late downs, they were 10 of 18 on 3rd and 14, 3rd and 4th combined. I'm excited to rewatch the All-22, of course. I say that every Sunday night, but I think Peppers could be really pushing Clark for a starting role or the number 2 job, depending on Elliott's situation. But as mentioned with Hunter Henry, the middle of the field coverage was really poor in this game. Linebackers, safeties, etc. Some numbers on Rodgers. He was particularly effective on quick passes, 2.5 seconds or less. 12 out of 14 for 115 on those, both his touchdowns, as well as his interception. But when he was over 2.5 seconds, he was only 4 of 9 for 24 yards. And he also did not complete a pass when he was pressured. But that was only 4 pressures, so I'm not going to go crazy on that. I think it's safe to say we've gotten 2 out of 3 good games out of Calvin Austin. Okay. We'll take that for what we want, what you will. I mean, could they use another receiver? Of course, but that's 2 out of 3 positive days for Calvin Austin. And again, those 4 pressures from of Rodgers is pretty low. I mean, it's definitely pretty low. Again, I don't know how much stock I put in this because I don't think the Steelers line played tremendously well, especially in run game, obviously. But according to PFF, no Steeler offensive lineman allowed more than 1 pressure. And Frazier and Ciamalo had 0 pressures allowed. So nobody was getting abused over and over. I think that's safe to say in protection. And last thing, let's end with a little bit of special teams. I think the kickoff coverage, which was really worrisome to me, was a strength in this game. Definitely the best game yet in terms of covering kicks. And the Waitman decision at punter looks like a real good one. I thought he had a very nice day as well. I was a little concerned that they might have kept the wrong guy. I thought both were good, but I was worried that Johnson was walking out the door because I was really impressed with him. But Waitman had a good day. So, all in all, you go on the road in the league, especially early in the season, you get a win. That's kind of all that matters, but there are a lot of concerns. There's no doubt about that. All right, guys, take care.